Guys, if y'all can take off your caps, the lights really hate that. I'm sorry. Think about me. I feel old, so you wearing bifocals. Once again, we'll start with a statement from Coach Pierce.
There's nobody in this room and nobody in this country expected this team to be here. And they did a heck of a job from the start to finish, from the fall ball into early spring. The things that they had to accomplish to get here is incredible. And I can only say how proud we are as coaches and the effort that they gave us and the way they represented the University of Texas. As far as today, just pretty good arm we faced. He was on, good stuff. We just couldn't come up with that one hit. And really one mistake. We pitched around Lippett, which was, bag open to work with, went to Maldonado, and he hit a damn good slider. Down and away, put it in center field, great swing, and then Chase was going hard in on India. He just didn't quite get it in there, and that was the difference.
Okay, we'll open it up now for questions from the student athletes. Once again, please identify yourself, your affiliation, and to whom you're asking the question. And we'll start with Kendall.
Kendall Rogers, you win baseball. Kody, you've had success against some pretty good pitchers this year. What did you kind of see from Kowar? He was able to keep you guys off balance throughout the afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, he was 95, 96. He commanded his fastball, and then he had a really good changeup. Coming out of his hand, it looked like a fastball for most of us, and he executed it well.
Next question. Teddy.
Teddy Cahill, Baseball America. Jake, just when you look back at this season, what are you going to remember from this year?
I think mostly just the work we put in as a team. The regional and super regional were awesome. I remember those, and then the time here was cool too. But definitely just the team grinding back from a slow start and being able to work past that. That was really cool to be a part of.
Okay, Danny.
Danny Davis, Austin American Statesman. David mentioned it in his opening statement that not a lot of people expected you guys to be here. For the players, did you feel like you guys proved something this year?
Start with you, Chase.
Yeah, I feel like we did that. Coming in this year, people expected to be a building year due to everybody we lost last year, but these guys proved everybody wrong, and that's just because of their attitude. The attitude that we have was gritty. We weren't given anything, we had to take it. And we took the Big 12 championship like we needed, and the regional and the super regionals. We went out and competed every inning, every out, and that's what good teams do, and I wouldn't trade this for the world.
Jake?
Yeah, I mean, we got a good recruiting class coming in next year, so I think we're only going to get better from here.
Kody?
Yeah, I mean, we weren't the most talented team out there. We had in the fall we had all the workouts and we built, chemistry and everything. We hung out as a team. Everybody got along, and I think that's why we were really good and meshed well. And obviously it got us here, and that's it.
Okay, next question. Danny again.
Chase, in that sixth inning, why do you think they just kind of had better luck against you there second time through the order?
Feel like I gave up 3 at-bats right there, and the whole time I pitched. It started with a fastball to the Reese and then threw a changeup, and he just ripped it down the line, and then I let that bother me more than it should have, and I got out of focus and started trying to do too much with my pitches and wasn't hitting my locations like I was, and then the big blow from India, trying to go in, and I left it up, and it's one of the best hitters in the country, and he made me pay for it. And then also with Horvath, I left another slider up, but I felt like I was in my zone, and then that was the only inning I was ever out of it.
Okay, right here.
Yep. Travis Levinka, the Daily Texan. Jake, he had an incredible postseason hitting the ball. When you look back at this season, are you going to remember it this much more because of the way that you played and the way you performed in the postseason?
Yeah, for sure. I've never really looked at my stats all year. It doesn't make a difference to me, really, but I think I'll miss the guys more than anything. The stats don't really matter to me.
Kirk?
Yeah, Kody and Jake, Kirk Bowles from the Austin American. Did it seem like you guys left more on the warning tracks and maybe any other team up here with all the deep flies? And have you seen a better pitcher than Kowar this year?
I mean, yeah, the park played big. You know, the wind kept shifting. You know, it was flying to left or whatever. But, you know, every fly baller that thought that we hit well, like Zubia's, and, you know, the guys just carried, and they didn't carry enough. But, yeah, I mean, Kowar, he just went out there and he executed his pitches, you know. His changeup he left, threw it at, you know, mid-thigh, and it ended up right below your knees every single time. And he didn't really make many mistakes on the mound. But yeah, he's probably one of the best pitchers that has thrown and, you know, executed the way he did today. Yeah, he's probably top 5. I don't know.
Yeah, he got the strikeouts when he needed them. He knew what pitch he needed to throw, the lefties especially. Changeup was working well for those.
Okay, right here.
Dustin McComas, OrangeBloods.com. Kody, you know, quite a ride. Coach mentioned, I mean, odds are kind of against you all at the beginning of the year. No one really expected this. How do you think this team should be remembered?
I think we'll always be remembered for the, you know, regional at home and the super regional, just the way that how we lost the first game in the super and then came back and won to, you know, get the team back to Omaha. You know, unfortunately we couldn't pull any wins out here, but, I mean, I think that they'll remember just like the fight we had in us all year.
I think it's going to be the year Kody hit 24 bombs.
Okay, Teddy. This will be the last question for this group.
Kody, when you look at this team, what is it that allowed this group to get back to Omaha? Where, you know, what was it different about this team from previous teams?
Well, we had a lot of new guys that came in, and you know we didn't know them at all, and you know, honestly, the time that I was at UT, we never really had any JUCO guys come in, so it was different, but. You know, we just got together as a team. We did all the workouts, like I said, and all the stuff that we did in the fall and in early spring that we all like would hang out and go out and do stuff. Nobody, you know, there wasn't any cliques or anything like that. Everybody would hang out with one another, and everyone got along well. And I think that's why, you know, the chemistry on the team was so good, and that's why, you know, we fought in the dugout and on the field all year.
Guys, congratulations on a great year. A year that ends in Omaha is pretty good. Thank you. While we wait for the players, we do have a game time for Game 8, 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. Game 8 has been postponed till tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. And it will be on ESPN2 tomorrow morning. Okay, questions for Coach Pierce. We'll start right here with Kendall.
Roger D. in baseball. David, you see some pretty good pitchers throughout your career as a coach. As you see Kowar punch those two guys out at the end of the first, what are you thinking there? Did you kind of feel like he was pretty locked in?
He was very locked in. The thing about Kowar is that when you have stuff like that, it's one thing. But when you can mix stuff with command, that's when you're, you know, a first rounder, and that's what he is. He dominated with the changeup, and what's interesting is we did a pretty good job of laying off of it early, and he immediately went to the curveball. So he's got arsenal. And then when you mix that in with the, you know, 94 to 96 mile an hour fastball, it puts you in a position where maybe you cheat a little bit, get to the fastball, and it's not one of the easiest things to do. But you know, we competed. We just didn't come up with a hit when we had some guys in scoring position, and I think that's a credit to him, the way he dialed it up.
Okay, we have Kirk back here.
David, you obviously know Texas never satisfied with just getting here, but as far as the accomplishment of just getting here and establishing your program, you know, how big was getting here in this second year?
Honestly, this team was not physically put together as an Omaha team might be. When you look around, we've got some guys that completely grew up from freshmen that contributed on the mound, especially from JC kids that came in between mainly Duke You look at the season he had, he's second in the Big 12 in batting average. Hit 390 in the league against some great pitching. You look at Mason Hibbler, who is nothing but listed as a baseball player, and all he wants to do is be on the field and play, and he plays it the right way. He comes in as a shortstop and ends up in left field for us, and really just wills himself into becoming a very good outfielder. And then DJ, the things that those three guys have given us. And then you look at the returning players of what a year Kody Clemens had. I mean, it's second to none. And for us to be able to witness and see what he did all year and be a part of that, and the energy that he brought back to the University of Texas was incredible. And he had some great support and teammates around him. When you look around, you got two guys like David Hamilton and Ryan Reynolds that have played just about every day for 2 years. They just go out and do it every single day. And then you got a guy like Jay McKenzie. You can't explain that. This kid just is an ultimate utility player that wills himself into being a great defender, and then his confidence takes over. And now he's not only a great defender; he was the best hitter in our in the College World Series for us. So when you see that development and the growth of young men like took place in front of us, it was pretty hell of a good season. And these guys have, our coaches, our support staff, and our players especially, have nothing to be ashamed of. There's 290 teams that didn't make it here, and this group is well-deserving because of the grit, the attitudes of doing it for the team, the selfless attitudes the entire year, understanding roles, and just doing it the right way day in and day out. You know, you look at a guy like Nolan Kingham, who has a really, really slow start and becomes big for us on the back end of the season. Without him, we're not here. So you can take all those moving parts, Chase Sugar, Blair Henley. You know, they weren't perfect all year. We know that. But they never gave in and they never gave up, and that's what I was so impressed with our entire team. I sure don't want to leave out Parker Joe Robinson. My goodness, I mean, the guy didn't pitch for us 2 years ago, and he's our best reliever. So that's development, and that's believing in yourself, and that's what this game is about. When you can grow like these kids have, it's awesome. And then you look at Josh Sawyer. Guy's just done nothing but fight through injuries and persevere to become one of the best left-handers out of the bullpen for us and do it multiple times. The young man has a hernia right now. He can't even walk yesterday, and he's out there pitching in the 8th inning. That's what this team has been about. Andy McGuire, a guy that just bounces back and perseveres. So when I look at the season and I recap it, I have no regrets with everything that happened with this group.
Next question, Danny.
David, as you think ahead, you know, how much do you think this experience is going to help your younger guys in your team and the guys you expect to, you know, help build this, you know, team with?
When you get a taste of this, it makes you hungry. And what we'll talk about here shortly is understand your own strengths, understand your own weaknesses, and what do you have to do, first of all, to make the team next year? Secondly, what do you have to do to be a role player, an everyday player? And this motivates you, and this builds a culture of expectation from our program. And that's the beauty of it. Their accomplishments were great, but what they've done for Texas athletics and Texas baseball is tremendous.
We have time for this last question.
Coach, what are you going to miss most from this year's team?
The walk-offs. It was unbelievable. I mean, to have that many exciting endings was incredible. But seriously, the kids. I mean, you know, I've coached a lot of teams, and you never build chemistry day one. Chemistry's not built in the fall. It starts. But you build chemistry by playing together, winning together, losing together, going through the adversity, the bus rides, you know, the quirky things that happen with teams. All that stuff has built the chemistry of this team. And, you know, I don't think we had one true controversy with a group that we had to address. Minor issues at times, but overall, these guys have well behaved and they've really represented the University of Texas very well.
Once again, David, congratulations. We'll see you next year.
Bill. Appreciate it. Bill and I go way back to our Rice days.
Before Wayne Graham.
Yeah, I don't know.